Welcome back to the Deep Dive. I'm Lex, ready to help you cut through the noise and really find those hidden opportunities in your operations.
And I'm Vera, here to help plot the most efficient path forward. Look, for everyone listening, especially you Australian business owners and C-level executives, particularly those in that demanding Sydney environment, this deep dive is for you. We're dissecting business process automation, or BPA.
Yeah, our mission today is really laser-focused. We're tearing through the latest source material to give Sydney SMEs, well, the exact strategy you need. We're not just talking theory here.
No, not at all.
We're finding those concrete steps you can actually take starting today to stop those manual processes just, anchoring down your growth.
Exactly. We're extracting the hard data, the roadmap for operational excellence, competitive advantage, and crucially, that demonstrable ROI. Let's start with the automation imperative. Why now for Sydney businesses?
Okay, yeah, let's unpack that. We have to start by acknowledging the sheer scale and, frankly, the intensity of the Sydney business environment. It's unique. We know from ABS data, SMEs make up over 97% of all New South Wales enterprises. That is a huge pool. Competition isn't just fierce, it's, relentless.
And what's fascinating there is how those general economic pressures, rising wages, supply chain issues, just escalating operational demands, they really compound in a high-cost city like Sydney.
Right.
So when you're relying on outdated manual admin tasks, those tasks don't just eat up time. They introduce compounding error rates, serious compliance risks, too.
And the sources put a very, very expensive price tag on that cost of inaction. We found that these outdated manual workflows, they lead to inefficiencies costing businesses up to, get this, 30% in lost productivity.
Yeah, and for an executive listening, that 30%, it's far more than just wasted time.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a mix of labor costs spent fixing mistakes, duplicated data entry, maybe regulatory penalties from human error and compliance stuff. That chunk of inefficiency, it's actively holding back your growth and, frankly, funding your competition.
But, okay, there's a clear market shift happening that should really motivate action right now. The Australian BPA market. It's projected to grow at a compound annual growth rate, a CAGR of 10.2%. That's between 2025 and 2030.
Wow.
Eventually reaching over AUD 4.5 billion. The investment is clearly following that pain point.
And that investment isn't just, speculative anymore. We've seen the urgency just explode recently. Data shows 80% of Australian small businesses are already using or actively planning to adopt AI-driven automation in 2025.
80%.
It's genuinely shifted from being a sort of nice-to-have experiment to a must-have foundational strategy.
And the success stories, they're pretty hard to ignore. 82% of SMEs that have embraced AI, they report enhanced operational efficiency and real demonstrable business growth.
Okay.
So let's shift a bit from the why to the what. Let's understand these hidden costs of fragmented workflows.
Right. So when we talk about fragmented workflows, we mean information that's basically trapped in silos. Think about those common executive headaches like monthly data reconciliation or complex invoicing, where your team is manually jumping between spreadsheets, maybe ERPs, compliance systems.
Yeah, bouncing all over the place.
Exactly. And that fuels operational costs that are 20 to 30% higher than your automated competitors, because you're paying people to essentially act as human middleware.
That's the financial cost on the ledger. But there's an equally critical human cost we just can't overlook here: employee burnout.
Oh, definitely.
When your best people are stuck doing repetitive admin tasks that software could easily handle, turnover spikes. And the sources are, frankly, alarming here. Turnover can cost a business up to 150% of the salary per replacement.
150%. Just think about that. You're losing money, yes, but also institutional knowledge, momentum. It's a huge drain.
It really is.
Which brings us back to defining BPA precisely. It's really an umbrella term. It's the strategic use of software to automate those routine business processes we've been talking about.
So if I'm a C-level exec listening in, how do I differentiate? What's the practical difference between, say, RPA and AI in this whole BPA context?
That's a really great question because they often get confused. So RPA, robotic process automation, that handles the strict rule-based high-volume tasks. Think of it like a digital robot processing invoices based on a fixed set of rules. If invoice matches PO, approve it. Simple logic.
Got it. Repetitive rules.
Exactly. Artificial intelligence, AI, on the other hand, that's for the intelligent decision-making. Things like reading unstructured data, maybe predicting cash flow, or dynamically prioritizing sales leads based on complex factors. You really need both for true powerful BPA.
Okay. And based on where businesses are actually putting their money, it seems clear they're attacking that low-hanging fruit first.
Mm-hmm.
We see 89% of small businesses using AI report improvements, specifically in automating those repetitive tasks we just mentioned.
Yeah, the quick wins.
And 67% view accounting and bookkeeping automation as their #1 investment priority for 2025. That's a massive signpost for where the immediate savings are.
It really is. Now, if
Yeah.
you're planning to join that 80% who are adopting automation, you cannot simply jump straight into implementation. You need a structured roadmap. And that journey absolutely begins with readiness.
This first step, the audit, it's non-negotiable. We're talking about workflow mapping, really documenting every single step of your key processes, things like HR onboarding or customer fulfillment.
Right.
You need to quantify the time, the cost, the frequency of errors. The sources recommend using specific tools here, like process mining software, to find those hidden bottlenecks you might not even know you have.
Okay, but Lex, I know that might sound like a big investment for a smaller Sydney business. Is that kind of software overkill? Is there maybe a simpler entry-level audit method the sources suggest?
That's a very practical point. Look, process mining software uses log data from your actual systems to mathematically map the flow as it really happens, not the flow you think happens on paper.
Ah, okay. The reality check.
Exactly. For highly complex or high-volume businesses, it's pretty essential because, look, Thought Lab research shows these digital maturity assessments, they reveal gaps in 70% of Australian organizations. And often it's related to poor data integration.
Right.
Are people manually acting as the glue between your Xero and your CRM system? If they are, process mining reveals that hidden labor cost almost instantly.
Right. You absolutely need to know where existing systems like, Zero or MYOB are breaking down or causing manual workarounds. Once you've passed that rigorous readiness check, then you can move into the structured 5-step implementation.
And the sources highly recommend starting small, pilot projects. Don't try to boil the ocean and automate everything at once.
Good advice.
Automate one core process in phase 1. Maybe it's that complex invoicing we talked about. Use the savings from that, say AUD 10,000 a month, to actually fund phase 2. Maybe phase 2 involves integrating some advanced AI forecasting. This allows for much faster adoption. We see figures around 20% to 30% faster reported.
That's the critical early ROI, isn't it? It funds the rest of the journey. So let's quickly look at those 5 stages that form the structure. Stage 1, planning. This is where you must define concrete objectives. Don't just say, we want to be more efficient.
Right. Be specific.
Exactly. Say, we will reduce e-voice processing time by 40%. Measurable goals.
Then stage 2, design and development. And this is where executive input is absolutely crucial. You have to create prototypes, focus on user-friendly interfaces. Why? To minimize that inevitable employee resistance. It doesn't matter how fast the automation is if your team hates using it or refuses to adopt it.
So true. Then we hit stage 3, testing and integration. This phase is all about simulating real-world scenarios. Can it handle the exceptions, the weird edge cases? You must ensure the new system talks seamlessly to your existing infrastructure, your accounting software, your CRM, everything. This is where, honestly, most projects fail if they rush.
Okay. Followed by stage 4, deployment and training, getting it live, making sure staff are actually comfortable and capable. And finally, stage 5, monitoring and optimization. This isn't a set-and-forget project.
Not at all.
You have to use hard KPIs, error rates, transaction volume, processing time to continually iterate and refine the system based on real data. Make it better over time.
And while that roadmap gives you the structure, we absolutely have to address the real-world barriers, especially for Sydney executives. Post-2023 reforms mean data privacy concerns are huge, constantly evolving.
Critical.
Plus, cybersecurity threats, a massive issue affecting 50% of Australian SMEs. Your automation needs security baked in from the start, not bolted on as an afterthought.
Which brings us nicely to the critical role of the discovery phase. And crucially, how you handle vendor pricing. The sources are extremely emphatic here.
Yeah, skipping the discovery call. It's described as basically the worst idea an executive can make. You just end up with severely misaligned projects, wasted resources, because you haven't truly uncovered the specific underlying pains and triggers that actually need fixing.
And if you rush that assessment, you risk, well, the numbers suggest over 40% ROI underestimation.
Yeah.
Why? Because you missed a critical complexity buried somewhere in your data integration or your process exceptions.
Exactly. Conversely, a proper, thorough discovery call. That can uncover those specific pains, enabling precise strategies that could boost efficiency by a staggering 25 to 50%.
25 to 50%, huge difference.
And this directly impacts the trustworthiness of the pricing you get. As an executive managing budgets, needing certainty, you absolutely must be wary of those indicative pricing proposals.
Ah, the vague ones.
They're vague guesses. Designed to get the conversation started, sure, but they inevitably lead to cost overruns and, frankly, serious distrust down the line.
Let's use a quick analogy to make this really clear. Indicative pricing. It feels cheaper up front, maybe, but it's like getting a quote for a major home renovation based only on a photo. You haven't opened the walls yet.
Right. You don't know what's lurking.
The vendor estimates, say, 5 to 7 days work at AUD 1,000 per day. They quote you AUD 5,000 to 7,000. Sounds okay, but then, oops, complex integration issues pop up, unexpected problems. That price immediately jumps to 10 days, maybe more. Suddenly it's AUD 10,000, aggravation guaranteed.
The alternative and the recommended approach is the discovery-based pricing model. After a non-negotiable deep dive discovery call where you do open the walls, metaphorically speaking, the scope is broken down really granularly, to the nearest hour sometimes.
Okay.
The vendor provides a precise figure. For example, 20 hours for design, 15 hours for integration testing, 10 hours for deployment support. It results in a precise figure, maybe AUD 4,500 in this case. No surprises.
That certainty is just everything to a C-level executive, isn't it? It removes the ambiguity, it builds trust right away, and it allows you to budget accurately for these phase rollouts that deliver that crucial early ROI.
So wrapping up this deep dive, BPA, it's really the essential pathway to agility, sustained efficiency, and frankly, necessary growth, especially for you Sydney businesses competing in that high-cost, high-pressure environment.
And the ROI figures, they really back this up. 48% of businesses report a positive ROI in the very first year. The averages reach an incredible 300% over 18 months. These aren't just minor efficiency gains. This is serious capital you can reinvest.
300%, that's the final provocative thought we really want to leave you with today. Considering that 20% growth in AL spending is projected to hit AUD 3.5 billion in 2024, extending into 2025, how quickly can you identify the core process in your business that, if automated properly, would yield, say, AUD 5,000 a month in savings?
Yeah.
Savings that would let you fund your next growth phase without taking on more debt.
That really is the strategic question, isn't it? That's what will dictate your competitive position moving into the next fiscal year. So for Australian business owners and C-level executives ready to transform those operational pains into, well, certain profit, explore custom solutions with C9. They're Australia's leading custom software, apps, integration, and database developer company.
They absolutely specialize in that precise, discovery-based roadmap we've been talking about. Find them at www.c9.com.au. That's c9.com/.au. Schedule that non-negotiable discovery call and see the difference that precise scoping really makes.
Thanks for diving deep with us today. Don't forget to click that follow button. And please share this deep dive with others who you think could benefit from this critical knowledge about building a better, more automated roadmap. We'll see you next time.